Adam sat in the back of the lecture hall, his eyes occasionally drifting to the woman at the front of the room. Mrs. Eleanor Clark was unlike any professor he had ever encountered, intelligent, poised, and confident. At 50, she carried herself with a grace that commanded respect, yet there was an approachable warmth in her demeanor. Adam, 20 years old and studying philosophy at the university, often found himself mesmerized not only by her lectures, but also by the subtle way she engaged with her students. Her teaching was captivating, her insights profound, and Adam couldn't help but feel drawn to her. It wasn't just admiration for her intellect, though. There was something about the way she made him feel, like he mattered, like his thoughts were valued. Over time, Adam found himself staying after class, asking her questions, and enjoying the rare one-on-one moments with her. At first, their interactions were casual. A question here, a comment there. But as the weeks went by, something deeper began to develop. They started exchanging emails, sharing articles and books they thought the other might enjoy. They found common ground in their love for literature, philosophy, and even music. It felt easy to talk to her. She had a way of making Adam feel like he could be himself, without fear of judgment. One day, after class, Mrs. Clark approached Adam with a smile. "Adam, I was wondering if you'd like to join me for a coffee this weekend," she suggested, her voice calm yet inviting. Adam's heart skipped a beat. "I'd love to," he said, barely containing his excitement. They set a time for Saturday afternoon. The coffee shop was cozy, tucked away on a quiet street near campus. As they sat together, the conversation flowed effortlessly. They talked about everything: academic debates, their childhoods, and even their dreams for the future. Adam had never felt such a connection with anyone before, and Mrs. Clark, though much older, seemed to appreciate his perspective as much as he appreciated hers. Over the next few weeks, their meetings became more frequent. Sometimes it was just a quiet coffee, other times it was long walks through the park, exchanging thoughts and laughter. Adam began to realize that his feelings for her were growing stronger. It wasn't just admiration anymore, it was something deeper, something he couldn't quite put into words. One evening, after an especially insightful discussion on the nature of love, Mrs. Clark invited him to her home. "I'm having a small dinner tomorrow night, Adam. I'd love for you to join me," she said. "It'll be a casual gathering, just a few friends from the university." Adam hesitated for a moment, wondering if this was appropriate. But his curiosity and longing for deeper connection overcame his doubts. He agreed. When he arrived at her house the next evening, Adam was struck by how cozy and inviting it felt. The warmth of the fire crackling in the fireplace and the soft lighting created a sense of comfort. They shared a lovely dinner, the conversation flowing easily among the guests, but it was clear that Adam and Mrs. Clark shared a unique bond. Her laughter, her thoughtful remarks, her gentle touch on his arm when she made a point, it all felt natural, as if they had known each other for years. After the guests left, Mrs. Clark invited Adam to stay for a while longer. "You don't have to rush off," she said with a kind smile. "I'm sure we can continue our conversation." Adam agreed, and they moved to the living room, where they sat by the fireplace. The soft crackle of the fire and the quiet hum of the night outside made it feel like they were in their own little world. They talked for hours about everything and nothing, about life, love, and everything in between. At some point, Adam found himself opening up in ways he hadn't before. He spoke about his insecurities, his hopes for the future, and his dreams. Mrs. Clark listened intently, offering gentle advice and comforting words. She shared her own experiences, talking about the challenges she had faced in her life, the sacrifices she had made, and the joys she had discovered in unexpected places. As the night wore on, Adam felt a growing sense of peace. It was as if time had slowed down, and for the first time in a long while, he felt completely at ease. The connection between them had deepened, becoming something more than just intellectual. There was an emotional intimacy that neither had expected, but that felt undeniable. When the clock struck midnight, Mrs. Clark stood up and stretched. "It's getting late, Adam," she said. "I don't want to keep you up too late, but if you're comfortable, you're welcome to stay the night. I have a guest room." Adam hesitated for a moment. He didn't want to overstep any boundaries, but at the same time, he didn't want the evening to end. "I'd like that," he said softly. She smiled warmly and led him upstairs. The guest room was simple, yet elegant, and as Adam sat on the edge of the bed, he felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. He had never been in this situation before. But Mrs. Clark had always made him feel comfortable, and tonight felt different, like a moment of clarity, where everything else faded away. "I'll leave you to settle in," she said, before stepping out of the room. But as she left, Adam couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more to this connection between them. It wasn't just about the physical closeness or the late-night conversations. It was about something deeper, something neither of them had fully explored. The night was quiet, and after a while, Adam found himself lying in bed, unable to sleep. He thought about Mrs. Clark, about their bond, about how she had become someone he trusted and admired more than anyone else. He had never expected to feel this way, but now he couldn't deny it any longer. Eventually, the door to the guest room opened, and Mrs. Clark stepped inside. "I thought you might still be awake," she said with a gentle smile. "I hope you're comfortable." "I am, thank you," Adam replied, sitting up slightly. His heart raced, but he tried to remain calm. Mrs. Clark stood at the foot of the bed, her presence both comforting and captivating. "I'm glad," she said softly, her voice like a soothing melody. "You know, it's rare to find someone you can truly talk to. Someone who understands you, and someone you can be yourself with." Adam nodded, his heart swelling with emotion. He had never felt so seen, so understood, by anyone in his life. The depth of their connection was undeniable, and as they talked quietly into the night, the bond between them grew stronger. The next morning, Adam left Mrs. Clark's home with a sense of warmth and fulfillment. He wasn't sure where this connection would lead, but for the first time, he felt ready to explore it, to see where this unexpected journey would take them.